Hi guys, welcome back to this African perspective. So today we're going to be checking out a video on tipping culture, and this topic is actually something that many people have different opinion on it. There are a lot of people that get very defensive and get very annoyed when you talk about the tipping culture. So the lady you see on the screen right now is going to share a story about how she went to get a service and she was asked for a tip and how it went really really bad and horribly because I mean, the tipping can get very ridiculous. Before we get right into it, make sure you please click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. Let's get right into it.
I really don't consider myself to be a cheap person. I'm more than happy to tip, but I feel like tipping nowadays is just getting out of control. So yesterday I wanted to get a massage because my back has been sore, but I'm a girl in her mid-20s. I didn't really want to pay too much, because I'm living on my own and trying to pay bills, save up for things, and going through a bit of a career change right now. I ended up finding a place for $80 for the hour, which I thought was more than fair, so I called, booked an appointment, all good. I go in last night to get the massage done, and it's funny, the lady actually forgot I even made an appointment. She was like, "Are you sure you booked an appointment?" I'm like, "Yep, we talked on the phone last night," but we laughed. That was fine. It was all good. We laughed about it. So she wanted me to pay for the service ahead of time, which I thought was strange, but also I understood because I'm like, well, she probably just wants to make sure she gets paid, because it's a smaller building and that's all good. So I pay the $80 with my card. She passes me back a slip of paper to write my tip on it. Now I'm standing there kind of wondering, what's a fine, acceptable tip? Because obviously when I go out to eat, it's a $15 or $20 bill, so I have no problem tipping 20% because, I'm already only paying like $20 for the bill. But here I'm paying $80 as it is for the service. So I'm like, I don't know, $5, $10. So I write down $5. I'm like, hopefully that's fine, hey, if I was a multimillionaire, I'd be happy to tip $1,000, but it's like, I'm trying to kind of budget, and I'm already paying for the service. So I write down $5, I pass back the slip, and she goes, "That's it?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "That's all you're tipping?" So I was like, "How much do you think I should be tipping?" Because I thought maybe she'll say $10 and I have no problem doing that. She goes, "Oh, definitely $20 to $30. I'm already paying $80. Old me would have just given the $20 and not wanted to cause problems. Even new me doesn't want to cause problems. I just wanted to go in there, get my massage and be happy and pay the price and give a little tip, that's fine. But I was like, no, I feel like I need to stick up for myself in this situation because this is kind of rude, So I was like, well, I'm not tipping $20. Like, that's a little much. She goes, well, the girls here work really hard. And I said, oh, I'm not questioning that at all. I'm sure they do, but that's why I am already paying $80. Like, I'm paying $80 and then adding this little tip on. And she goes, well, that just covers our rent. So then I'm like, well, respectfully, that's not my problem. Like, I'm sorry if maybe your boss doesn't pay you guys enough. That's really unfortunate, but it shouldn't be up to me to make up for that. I'm already paying $80 for the service, added a little tip, like whatever. Anyway, she kind of keeps going on staring at me, just making me feel bad. So now I'm like, okay, I don't even want to, I don't even know if I want to do this. So I say to her, I'd be happy to take my business elsewhere because, I can get a refund with my credit card company. I'd be happy to go elsewhere if my tip's not good enough for you and whatever. And she goes, no, get the massage and then you can tip more after. So anyway, I'm in the room getting ready to get this massage done, and I can hear her and the girl who's going to be doing my massage outside of, out by the front desk. And they're speaking in their own language, which I don't speak, so I can't say for certain what they were saying. But when you just feel like someone's talking about you, that's what it felt like, because I was the only client there in the building, and this had all just happened. It didn't sound like whatever they were saying, didn't sound like they were saying it in a nice way. So I was like, I feel like they're talking about me now. So anyway, just a bad vibe, bad feeling. So I'm like, I'm going to leave. So I get my stuff. I'm walking out the door and I'm like, you know what? I just feel uncomfortable. I don't feel good about this. I'm just going to get a refund through my credit card company and have a good night. I'm walking to my car. The front desk lady's chasing me out the door and she's like, no, come back. It's okay. I'll give you a discount and I'll take the tip off. It's all good. And I'm like, well, no, that's fine. I'm fine with paying full price. I'm fine with leaving the tip. I'm not trying to pay less or anything. I'm happy with paying the full price and the tip, but I just don't appreciate being made to feel bad for what I'm able to tip right now. And mind you, it's not that I'm not able to tip $20, but it's I don't really want to right now at this stage in my life. I'm already paying $80, Anyway, so she goes, well, I promise, like, we weren't talking about you, which I found funny because I never even mentioned the whole, like, talking thing. So I was like, Anyway, she goes, I promise we weren't talking about you. I was just telling her, like, that you know, what you want done and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'm fine to come back in and pay the full price and leave my tip, but I don't want to get a bad service now because, you know, you guys are mad at me or something. Like, I don't want somebody, like, pounding on my back, you know, because they're, like, mad at me. She goes, no, I promise, like, it'll be fine. Just come back in, get the massage. Like, it's all good. So I'm like, okay. So I go back in, and the girl who did my massage, she was really great, really nice, and everything was really good. But the whole time I'm laying on the bed, like, overthinking now. Like, I wasn't even thinking about the massage because I just was overthinking about the whole situation, thinking, like, am I a bad person? Like, I'm not trying to be. Like, anyway, the massage is done, and I'm like, okay, I will add $5 on because she did do a really great job, and $10 is fine. I'm still not going to tip 20 to 30, but I'm like, I'll do 10. So I go out, and now they're being really nice to me, right? Because sometimes when you put people in their place a little bit, like, not being mean, but just like, you just put people in their place a little bit, they kind of like respect you more. You know what I mean? You're kind of like top dog like vibes. That's kind of what it was like. So they're like, how was it? And they were super friendly, and I was like, it was great, I'd be happy to add on another $5. And she's like, no, it's okay, you can just go, it's okay. And I said, no, I actually want to, because she did a great job. I'm not gonna do 20 to 30, but I'll do 10. So I changed the tip to 10. Everything was good, told them to have a good night, everything was fine. But I left still just thinking to myself, like, was that kind of rude, or am I a cheap person? I don't know. Like, is that kind of, I don't know.
This young lady went into that place, right, to go and get relaxed. When a person is going for a massage, you absolutely want to rest. Like, you just want to enjoy the feeling of that massage. It's supposed to help soothe you and make you feel better. Like, your day is supposed to get better the moment you do that. But instead, a person went in there and she came out stressed, entirely stressed, and maybe possibly this is something that she will continue thinking about for a long time because you're stressing the person out. I understand you want your tip, and I think it's very ridiculous for you to be asking somebody for a tip before the service is even done. It's like, when are we going to go back to the days where tipping is a reward and it is not a must? I wish I do like, genuinely, I wish the energy a lot of people, like, when you go to places to go and get some services that do not even deserve tips, or maybe let's say it's just normal, like, at least can you let that be someone's choice? But okay, you're not letting it be a person's choice. Can you at least stop trying to be mean, stop treating people in a very mean, horrible way more than you would treat your employer who is supposed to pay you? To wish that these employers will be trying their best to at least be paying their employees so they don't have to be depending on other people to pay. Like, I don't, me personally, for me, I don't even care if I go to a place and you include, like, you make sure that what you're charging me for is enough for you to pay the people that are working for you. Because why do you not charge enough for the people who are working for you to pay them, and you want people who come into the place to pay them? Because it's not going to be a fair pay, and like, not everybody's going to be getting like an equal tip. In some places someone might be tipped better than the other, and it's like, it's just, there's no balance in it. That's what I think. And like I said, a lot of people get very defensive with this, but we just have to admit that for some of us, we think it's becoming too much, and it's extremely too much. This is not something that happens in other countries, and maybe that's why I think it's like really crazy that it happens in, you know, some certain regions.
I did not tip the girl who did my braids yesterday, and this was the first time I haven't tipped to get my hair done, and I was fueled with anxiety, especially when I hand her over the cash and she starts counting it, and I was like, I just did not feel like tipping was necessary on this service. For reference, this was $350 to get done. These are small, knotless, and this is a French curl braid. That averages out, took her 7.5 hours, $46 an hour, minus the cost of hair, so we'll just round it down to $40 an hour. She didn't have to commute. She's not paying any extra overhead because she works from home. I think that that's a really good price. How many people are making $40 an hour? I want to also add that I had to go to the ATM, which is the most inconvenient method of payment, to go get the exact amount of cash that I need for the appointment. I also had to come washed, conditioned, and blow dried, and I was the one that had to do the commuting. This is no shade, no tea, no nothing. This was the most comfortable braiding experience I've ever gotten. She was the best braider I've ever had, and I will definitely be going back to her. A lot of people say tipping is how you say thank you, but to me, saying thank you is how you say thank you. Respecting people's policies, arriving to your appointment on time, being respectful of the space that you're in, letting them take photos of their work after, and maybe telling your friends, or if you have a social media following, That to me is how you say thank you. We don't need to bump someone's $40 an hour work up to 45 to say thank you. Sue me. Sue me.
What do you get per hour on tips?
Even if people are tipping the 20% that is standard for great service, most servers are tipping out 3 to 5% of that to bussers, hosts, and bartenders.
What if I leave you nothing?
Then we have to pay that tip out whether you give us money or not.
So
So like
it's-
say your bill is $100 and you don't tip me at all, I'm paying $5 to wait on you.
What? That seems like that should be illegal. Why should that come out of her pocket to pay the bussers, the bartender? That upsets me. That should be on the owner or just on people like, hey, if we don't get a tip, none of us give a tip. That should not be coming out of her pocket.
I'm not gonna tip you just because you turned the iPad around and I pushed the button, bro. Like,
Yep.
The comment that I absolutely hate the most is like when people say like, if you can't tip, don't go out. Like
Bro,
it's not. I'm not gonna give out free money, and what it's just companies trying to get away with not paying their employees what they
Yes.
deserve. And
They
they
give
have
them-
they have the assets to pay these people more, but they just don't want to.
Yep.
They give you this option to tip, given this like social pressure to
Yep.
tip. And I agree with you. Like if it's a server and they're coming multiple times and they're giving me good service, bro, I'm gonna
No
tip
doubt.
you. If you're a bad server, you don't get a tip, bro. Like if
Yeah.
you're not working hard, if you come and like you give me water once and you don't come till I ask for the check, like
Yep.
I'm not gonna fucking tip you. Like tips are earned, bro. Like tips are earned, and companies should pay their people more so they don't have to fuck.
Tipping culture is out of control. This is a list of people I'm not tipping in 2024, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'm not tipping at the drive-thru. I'm not tipping for froyo. I'm not tipping for Auntie Anne's. Yes, they ask for tips there now. And I'm not tipping on to-go orders. And I know the hostesses have such a huge problem. It's my opinion. And yes, I have been a hostess and a server in a past life. Anyone who sets their own prices, I will absolutely not be tipping you. The whole point of tipping a service professional is that you're paying the business like double or triple what the employee is actually making during that service. So if you're both the business and the servicing employee, why would I pay more on top of that if you're going to obtain the full 100% of what I pay? Doesn't make any sense. If you need a medical qualification or license in order to administer the service to me, I'm not giving you a tip. It goes against the code of ethics to accept tips for these types of procedures. So
Do you expect tips just because it says it now every time?
You want to expect the tips because we want
So
it.
if you do something right here and you don't say I tipped you digitally, you don't know.
Really interesting. I thought like the other person was judging if I press like no tip or...
If they are judging you, they should not because they literally can't see.
A lot of people aren't used to tipping for quick services. You think that you guys deserve
For the
it?
most part, yeah. Paying for not just the stuff that you're getting, but also the
How do
experience.
you feel about those
I
screens?
don't necessarily like it myself. I feel like it puts pressure on the consumer for no reason. Like for instance, if I'll go to a little store around here, grab a drink or something, and then they flip the screen, it's like asking for a tip. For what?
You really want to show like an act of kindness, something that like speaks beyond words. Cash tip is a little better way to say that.
They are happy to give, we are happy to.
I am definitely not gonna blame. I'm not even blaming the people that ask for tip or the people that the tips are being paid to, like those people that actually offer you all the services. I don't blame them. Like I understand that situation. Of course, like that's what they are depending on majority of the time. So, but my own problem is with the people that employ them. Like, because I feel like they're getting away with so much. They are getting a lot of profits that they're filling up their pockets and then waiting for people to actually still come over there, purchase stuff for them from them, and they get a lot of profits. And at the same time, they still do not want to pay the people that they employed, and they want you to be the one to pay the people they employed. So it's like, why are they allowed to get away with things like that? Because I feel like it's not fair, and some things that these people get away with I think should be illegal, but they are not. So that is where my anger is. Like I am really angry at those people, because why is it, if it's something that cannot be done, why is it possible in other countries? Go to other countries. The people who are working there, just like let's say bartenders or waitresses and all of them, those people that offer you service, they do not care about the tip you're going to give them because they are being paid in accordance to what they are being paid well. So they don't depend on your tips. When you give them tips, that's you being like you're appreciating the service that they give you, telling them thank you, and it's their own, it's for them. The individual you give that tip to, it's your choice. If you don't feel like giving the tip, they are not even expecting it because they are being paid. But whatever you bought there, you coming over there and patronizing their business is what they want, because that's how they are getting money in that place. Guys, that's it for this video. You all should let me know what your thoughts are about this video in the comment section down below. Make sure you please click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.